What's up, L fam? Welcome back to another Ed and Lena
video.
So we recently watched the Cruella movie, and there's been a lot of talk about it recently, and we wanted to go ahead and give you guys our take from a Christian couple perspective, watching it for the first time, and how we felt about it.
Yeah, we were kind of shocked at the controversy and just kind of the level of outrage from some Christians, and so we thought it'd be good to kind of go over our perspective of the movie, touch on some of the points of the movie, some of the good, some of the bad, and maybe even touch a little bit on this controversy within the church. I think that's kind of important to discuss.
Yeah, when we watched it, basically how I felt about the movie after watching it was, I thought it was pretty interesting. The storyline was written really well, and it was basically just a story, the backstory of a villain. So I kind of came into it kind of knowing what it was. Especially, watching 101 Dalmatians when I was younger. I think there were like a couple of movies, animated movies that I watched. So I knew who Cruella was, and it was kind of interesting to kind of find out, what her backstory is. And that's kind of where Disney took the movie.
Yeah, see, I don't remember 101 Dalmatians. I know I watched it. I was so young, I don't actually remember. And I was probably too young to understand the movie. But one thing was clear to me, and it's that this movie was about a villain. So once the movie's about a villain, there's certain things that come with that package, right? So if we watch a movie about the Joker, we're going to see certain tendencies because they're a villain. If we watch a movie about a superhero, there's going to be a villain who's going to have similar tendencies. Just on its own, the movie lets you know what you're going to get into, for the most part.
We've seen, at least on social media, we've seen some Christians that say that this movie is worshiping the devil, and then there are other Christians, on the other hand, that are saying, it's a movie like any other movie about a villain, and it's not worshiping the devil.
Oh, and there are other arguments as well. It's not, they rate it PG-13, but I don't think this is a kid's movie. There are different arguments that are made as to whether to like this movie or not like this movie, and some are actually pretty valid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's some of the ones that are going a little too far I'm like, oh.
Yeah, for instance, I do not believe that you're going to hell if you watch Cruella. No.
No, we need to be so careful with the judgment that's going on over a movie. It's just, it's heavy, guys.
So where do we stand? So it's a PG-13 movie, so do keep that in mind. If you have 13-year-old children, then I would definitely screen this movie before you show it to your children.
I think ultimately, if it's the, I thought this was a kid's movie, should my child watch it? Or they're passing adult ideas in a kid's movie. I'm not convinced this is a kid's movie.
Exactly.
And they rated it PG-13 for a reason. I think it's frankly even
roughly rated.
Yeah, very rough.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately that's up to parental discretion to understand, I know what I'm watching because I've watched it before, and I want my child to watch this movie, or I'm going to, as we watch this movie, I'll explain the good and the bad to the child.
And so I want to address the thought that, this movie is lighthearted and like 101 Dalmatians. One of the comments that was made on social media was that she was expecting it to be like 101 Dalmatians, like the animated movie, like very lighthearted and, and funny and stuff like that. But she says, it's a lot darker than that. And I actually think that the movie could have gone a lot darker, because Cruella in this movie wasn't killing puppies for their fur to make coats.
Yeah, because in this movie, she made a representation of it. And she basically said, I don't care whether they think or I don't. It's the representation that matters. They could have made this movie a whole lot darker.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did it, because I think it would have lost what made
we definitely would not have watched it
good, but they could have made this movie incredibly dark.
So one of the other concerns that people are bringing up, or Christians are bringing up, is that they believe that the movie is worshiping the devil at every twist and turn. We didn't get that impression from it.
No, not at all. With the exception of that song at the credits.
Yeah, with the exception of the song at the credits. The song at the credits is supposed to be like the Cruella theme song or whatever, and they don't play it in. I don't think they played it anywhere in the movie or at the beginning. They only played it in the credits, and I believe it's a song by Florence and the Machine, and it talks about basically the devil having much better taste and waiting in line, for hell is a lot better or whatever. So it does. That the end of it definitely I can see where some Christians are saying worships the devil, but I do not believe that the movie itself worshipped the devil at every twist and turn.
Now, if you look at the movie a little deeper, right? The movie's kind of based around Estella, the main character, fighting between Estella, which is the good side of her, and her alter ego, Cruella, which is the bad side of her. And the movie is about this battle between good and evil within her. And then you find out where the good came from her and where the bad came from her. And it's clear where she has these battles. Mm-hmm. The movie explains that very clearly, very well. So the movie goes between her good and her evil. She kind of swings from extremes.
Yeah, she's good. She tries to be a really good girl, and then she ends up, finding out, sorry, spoiler alert, finding out something about the Baroness, and then that leads her into becoming very upset and wanting revenge, and then that kind of brings out that villain side of Cruella that we all know so well in 101 Dalmatians.
And we've seen some people have said that she ended up kind of choosing a better path, and that's a little questionable too, because she ends up as Cruella, right? So she actually chooses evil. She just chooses a less evil, a rational evil. Instead of being 100% evil, she chooses 75% evil. Mm-hmm. So it's not even she's fully redeemed or fully good. She doesn't choose good. She clearly chooses evil.
But she's the villain.
The other thing to consider is, as far as does this worship the devil, it's not that it worships the devil per se, but it does have Satanistic tendencies.
Yes.
Now. Yes. When you say that, you have to understand, right? Someone's going to say, well, see, you're saying it. Well, Satanism is about self-indulgence.
Yeah.
It's about self-indulgence and self-gratification. Mm-hmm. Right?
And so you see that in a lot of, sorry to interrupt, but you see that in a lot of Hollywood films. You see that in Disney a lot of the times where it's all about, pleasing yourself and things like that. So.
Yeah, well, and it uses Satan as the face or impersonation of rebellion and self-gratification. So this movie kind of shows that in the sense of it's all about the Baroness. The Baroness worships herself, and only herself. She gives credit to no one, and she believes fully that if she opens the door for anyone else, they'll destroy her, because it's all about her.
Right.
And so Cruella learns that from her to an extent, and that's where that character is kind of born fully. Mm-hmm. Is Cruella wants to be like the Baroness, but only partially like the Baroness. She wants to be the powerful side of the Baroness. She wants to have her edge. She just doesn't want to be a murderer. Mm-hmm. I guess it's how it ends up working out. Now, like you said, all villains in every movie
have that tendency.
In fact, sometimes even the hero has tendencies like that. Mm-hmm. So if your standard is you can't watch this movie because it has Satanistic tendencies, well, by that standard you can't watch any movie. Mm-hmm. This one is a little more overt, I would say, and I think having that word play off of devil with her last name Deville and Hellman's Hall and her license plate Devil or Deville. Yeah. I think it's a little more overt in that sense. Mm-hmm. But this is not new. This is on all your Marvel movies, all of your superhero villain movies. They all have a villain, and all the villains show this type of tendency.
The only thing I think that I didn't really like was definitely the end song, the song at the end, because it's just it's unnecessary, it's over the top, and that to me is worshiping the devil. That song. Yeah. So if you chose not to watch it because you don't appreciate that song, I agree. Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. Now, my biggest concern with this.
Yeah, our biggest concern.
Yeah, our biggest concern really is this battle between groups of Christians, this judgment of, true believers wouldn't watch this. True believers.
Exactly.
I'm shocked.
Right, exactly. People questioning your faith in God because you chose to watch the movie.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't believe in watching scary movies. I also don't believe that you're going to go to hell because you watch scary movies. I just don't think it edifies. But let's be honest, none of these movies edify you.
No.
You know, none of these shows edify you. So to start to throw stones at other Christians because they decided they wanted to watch this movie and they thought it was good, I think taking it too far. That's a little too legalistic, and ultimately, all it does is divide the church, and the church needs to be united on these issues.
We didn't have a big problem with the movie itself. Do we think that kids should watch the movie? No, we do not think that kids should watch this movie. Should parents screen the movie and make that decision for themselves? We 100% believe in that. Do we think the movie was devil worshipping? No. Do we think the song at the very end was devil worshipping? Yes.
Yeah.
Should parents basically be more careful with what, or Christians be more careful with what we're watching? Or, question what we're watching?
What we're watching, what our kids are watching, absolutely. But that also starts with us.
Yeah. And then our last thing that we want to really just drive in is that we don't believe that Christians should butt heads so hard on this and basically call each other out as not Christians if you watch the movie and didn't see a problem with it. Some people may be, convicted about some things, and some people might not be convicted about those things. But I do think it's important for us to have a discussion about it and see, what each other thinks about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So
I agree.
that's kind of where what we kind of got out of the movie, and from a Christian point of view. We would love to hear what you guys have to say so that we can have some discussion. So comment down below, if you like this movie, like if you like this video, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this or more content about Christian lifestyle, finances, and relationship. We enjoy talking to you, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.